Right now, someone with less talent, less education, and fewer resources than you is becoming a millionaire. Why? Because they think differently. In 2025, money doesn't follow hard work, it follows mindset. If your brain is still stuck in 2010 thinking, you're already losing. So let me ask you. You see, most people spend their entire life trading hours for dollars. They work harder, they hustle, but they never break free. Because the game isn't about how hard you work, it's about how smart you think. You want freedom? You want wealth? Stop waiting for someone to hand it to you.
Your bank account is not a reflection of how many hours you work. It's not even a reflection of how much effort you put in. It's a reflection of your mindset. Think about it. Two people can work the exact same job, the exact same hours, yet one becomes wealthy while the other stays broke. Why? It's not because of luck. It's because one person learned how to think differently about money. While most people are focused on earning just enough to survive, the wealthy are focused on multiplying what they earn. They don't see money as a reward. They see it as a tool to build freedom, to create opportunities, and to buy back their time. Now here's the truth. If your brain is still wired to believe that hard work alone will save you, you're already behind. Slightly disappointed tone. Because in today's world, money doesn't follow effort. It follows strategy, knowledge, and mindset. If you don't change the way you think about money, you'll keep chasing it forever. And that cycle, that's what keeps people trapped for decades. But here's the real wake-up call. If you're waiting for the right time to change your life, you've already lost. The right time doesn't exist. There's no perfect moment when the stars align and everything feels easy. Every day you wait, someone else, with fewer skills, less education, and fewer resources, is moving ahead of you. Not because they're more talented, but because they act while you're still waiting. Waiting is the silent killer of dreams. You wait for the economy to get better. You wait for your job to pay more. You wait for a sign that it's time. But the truth is, every second you wait, someone else is using that time to build, to learn, to take risks, and to grow. And those are the people who will dominate 2025 and beyond. So ask yourself, are you willing to stay in the same place, blaming your job, your circumstances, or the world, while others build the life you want? Or are you ready to stop waiting and start acting? The moment you stop looking for the perfect time and start creating opportunities for yourself, that's when everything changes. Your mindset is the key, and the time is now. Not next year, not next month, not even tomorrow. Every excuse you make is making someone else rich while you stay stuck. Every time you say, "I'm tired, I'll start tomorrow," someone else is out there using that exact moment to get ahead. Every time you tell yourself, "I don't have enough money, enough time, or enough connections," there's someone with even less who's already moving, already building, already winning. And while you sit there waiting for the perfect moment, life doesn't pause. The opportunities you hesitate on, they're taken by those who simply decide to act. The truth is, the world doesn't care about your excuses, your problems, your struggles, your reasons. They don't stop the clock. While you explain why you can't, someone else is proving that they can. And every excuse you make becomes a debt you'll eventually have to pay. In time, in regret, in lost chances. Understand this. Success doesn't come to the hardest worker. If it did, construction workers and nurses would be billionaires. The world doesn't reward sweat alone. It rewards those who think differently. The richest people aren't necessarily grinding 16 hours a day. They're finding smarter ways to make their time multiply. They're building systems, leveraging skills, and creating opportunities that work even when they don't. That's the difference between staying broke and building freedom. The people winning today don't just work hard, they work smart. They don't wake up asking, "How can I hustle harder?" They wake up asking, "How can I make my work count more?" Because there's a huge difference between being busy and being productive. One keeps you exhausted, The other sets you free. So here's the reality you can't ignore. Your excuses won't build your dream life. Your long hours won't, by themselves, make you free. The only thing that will change everything for you is a shift in the way you think. The question is, will you keep telling yourself stories about why you can't, while someone with less keeps proving they can? Or will you finally stop making excuses, start thinking differently, and step into the life you know you were meant to build? Because success isn't waiting for you. Soft. It's passing you by, every second you hesitate. Money is a tool, not a goal. The moment you treat it as the finish line, you lose sight of what it's truly meant for: freedom, choices, and leverage. Most people chase money like it's the ultimate destination, grinding endlessly just to hold on to more of it, but they never learn how to make it work for them. That's why so many stay trapped no matter how much they earn. The wealthy think differently. They understand money is simply a means to create time, to build opportunities, and to design a life they control. When you start viewing money as a tool, every dollar becomes fuel. Fuel for investments, skills, businesses, and systems that multiply themselves. If you're not using money to create leverage, you're its prisoner, working for it instead of letting it work for you. That's why most people live paycheck to paycheck even when they earn more than enough. They don't control money. Money controls them. But shifting your mindset changes everything. Start asking, how can this dollar work for me tomorrow? Instead of, how can I spend this today? That one mental shift is the difference between being stuck forever and finally creating financial freedom. And freedom isn't built on emotion. It's built on discipline. Because no matter how much you want something, the world doesn't reward wants. It rewards execution. Discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Motivation is what gets you started when things feel exciting. But discipline is what keeps you moving when everything feels heavy, boring, or hopeless. And most people quit because they rely on motivation alone, expecting to feel good every day, waiting for some magical surge of energy to push them forward. But life doesn't work like that. There will be days when you feel drained, when everything feels stacked against you, when nothing goes your way. And that's when discipline saves you. Discipline is what pulls you out of bed when you'd rather sleep. Discipline is what makes you put in the work when everyone else is making excuses. Discipline is the invisible line that separates those who dream from those who achieve. The truth is, nobody cares how you feel. The world only cares about what you build, what you create, what you produce. Feelings don't pay bills. Excuses don't change your life. Action, fueled by discipline, does. And here's the brutal truth. The life you want will demand more from you than you're giving right now. It will demand late nights, early mornings, sacrifices, failures, and countless moments where you want to quit but don't. And those who can push through those moments, not because they're motivated, but because they're disciplined, are the ones who rise. Every goal you've ever dreamed of is sitting just beyond the line where most people give up. The ones who succeed aren't necessarily smarter, luckier, or more talented. They're just the ones who keep showing up long after others have stopped. Discipline is the bridge between your current reality and your desired future. And every day you skip the work, every day you choose comfort over progress, you're burning that bridge. The question isn't whether you want success. Everyone does. The real question is whether you're willing to be disciplined enough to earn it day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Because feelings fade, but results last. Now ask yourself, are you controlling your money, or is it controlling you? Are you driven by fleeting motivation, or by unshakable discipline? If your answer isn't clear, neither is your future. It's not enough to want freedom, wealth, or success. You have to train your mind to treat money as a servant, not a master, and train your habits to keep working when every emotion tells you to stop. When you combine the right mindset about money with relentless discipline, you become unstoppable because you're no longer playing the same game as everyone else. Most people will keep running on the treadmill, earning, spending, quitting, restarting, while a few will step off, take control, and build something that grows even while they rest. The choice is yours. Either let money and moods dictate your life, or take control and design the life you've always wanted. The ones who win aren't waiting to feel ready. They aren't chasing quick dopamine hits, and they aren't worshiping money like it's a god. They're building, staying consistent, and letting their discipline compound into results. The only question now is, will you? If you're not building something that works while you sleep, you'll work until the day you die. And that's the reality no one wants to hear. Most people spend their entire lives exchanging hours for dollars, waking up every day to do the same job, following the same routine, hoping that someday, somehow, it will all pay off. But here's the truth. No matter how hard you work, no matter how many hours you put in, if your income stops the moment you stop working, you're trapped. You're stuck in the cycle. Wake up, work, get paid, repeat, until your body gives out or your job disappears. And yet, millions of people accept this as normal because they've been taught that hard work alone is the key to success. It isn't. In today's world, the people who truly win aren't the ones working the hardest. They're the ones building income streams, businesses, and systems that earn while they sleep. They're not tied to a time clock. They're not relying on a single paycheck. They've built something that gives them leverage, and that's why they're free. Leverage is what separates the wealthy from the overworked. When you build something that runs without your constant effort, whether it's a business, an investment, a digital product, or a skill that scales, you break the chain that keeps most people tied to their jobs forever. Think about it. If you're earning only when you're physically working, there's a cap on your income and your life. There are only so many hours in a day, and eventually, your time and energy run out. But when you learn to build systems to make your money, skills, and assets work for you, suddenly, your earning potential is limitless. Your time becomes yours again. You can choose when to work, how to work, or even if you want to work at all. Because your systems don't need sleep, vacations, or breaks. They just keep working. But here's why most people never escape. Building something that pays you in your sleep takes sacrifice, learning, and risk. It's easier to clock in and out, collect your paycheck, and complain about how life isn't fair than it is to put in the hours after work, learn a skill, start a side hustle, or invest in something new. Comfort keeps people chained. Fear keeps them small. They're so focused on surviving today that they never build for tomorrow. And by the time they realize it, decades have passed, and they're still trading time for money with nothing to show for it. And make no mistake, the future doesn't reward those who simply work hard. It rewards those who work smart, who build streams of income, who use their knowledge and skills to create assets. The people who will thrive in the next decade aren't necessarily the most talented or the richest. They're the ones who learned how to escape the cycle. They built products, services, or investments that generate money around the clock. While most are sleeping and earning nothing, these people wake up richer every single morning because they've put systems in place. So the question is, what are you building? Are you spending all your time making someone else rich while you just scrape by? Are you waiting for the perfect idea, the perfect timing, or the perfect level of motivation before you start? Because while you wait, someone else, with fewer resources and less skill, is already creating the thing that will pay them for years to come. Every day you delay, the gap between you and them grows wider. And at some point, you'll look back and realize that all those nights spent scrolling, all those weekends wasted, were the exact moments you could have used to build your freedom. It doesn't matter how old you are, how much money you have right now, or how much you think you know. What matters is whether you're willing to step out of survival mode and start building something that doesn't rely on you trading your life away hour by hour. The tools exist, the opportunities exist, but most people won't take them. Not because they can't, but because they won't. They choose ease now over freedom later, and that single decision locks them into a lifetime of work. If you don't want that to be your story, start today. Start learning a skill that can scale. Start building something, even if it's small, that can grow over time. Start investing, even if it's a little, so your money begins to work for you. Every day you delay is another day closer to a life where work isn't a choice but a prison. And when you finally realize that your time is the most valuable asset you'll ever have, you'll understand why building systems, businesses, and investments that work while you sleep isn't just a strategy, it's survival. Because the truth is simple. If you don't build it, you'll be building someone else's dream for the rest of your life. And the only thing you'll ever own is regret. The choice is yours. Playing safe is the fastest way to stay broke. Most people think avoiding risk will protect them, but in reality, it traps them in a life they don't want. They cling to the comfort of a steady paycheck, the routine they hate, the job that barely covers their bills, because they fear failure more than they desire freedom. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. Safety is an illusion. The job you're relying on can disappear tomorrow. The paycheck you count on can shrink. The economy can flip overnight, and all the stability you thought you had can vanish. When you play safe, you're not avoiding risk. You're just accepting a slower, guaranteed path to a life of limitation. The people who break free, the ones who build real wealth and freedom, are the ones willing to take risks. Calculated, intentional risks that most people are too scared to face. The biggest risk isn't losing money or failing. It's spending your entire life stuck in mediocrity, knowing you never even tried. Every time you play it safe, every time you avoid stepping out of your comfort zone, you're choosing a path where regret will eventually outweigh fear. You might avoid the pain of failure now, but you're guaranteeing the pain of what if later. And that pain, it doesn't fade, it lingers. Because deep down, you know you are capable of more, but fear kept you small. People think risk is dangerous, but staying comfortable is far more dangerous because comfort kills ambition. Comfort convinces you to settle, to stop growing, and to watch your dreams fade while you convince yourself that playing it safe was the responsible thing to do. Look at anyone who's achieved extraordinary success. They didn't get there by sticking to the safe path.